What's going on, Colts Nation? I appreciate you joining me for another video where this one we're sitting here 23rd of June, right? The dead middle of nothing going on. We have a month till training camp. I appreciate you guys joining me. And this one going to talk a little bit about being an indie sports fan. Coming off the heels of what happened last night, Pacers in Game 7, on the road in OKC, a magical run that comes to an end. And, going into it, I think we all expected, or we all had some expectation of this is OKC in OKC. We know what they are. And we knew there was a possibility the Pacers could lose that game. But to lose it because Hallie goes down, it's like at some point, like being an indie sports fan just isn't for the weak, man. It's just not for the weak. I'm somebody who I grew up in the Reggie Miller era and the Peyton Manning era. So sports, it was incredible to watch, right? You watch, our teams won so many games, and we just don't have anything to show for it. Like as sports fans, some fan bases may say we're spoiled. We have high expectations. We have high expectations. Winning in the regular season is just a precursor to what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be competitive for a championship. That's what we do. Indiana is basketball. Because of Peyton Manning, Indiana became football. This is what we do. We win. Right? And when you look at the history, like after it happened, the Pacers stay competitive. And once it started getting away from, you could tell immediately the offense wasn't functioning right for the Pacers. And then in the second half, it gets away from them. Once it started getting away from, you could see what was going to happen, right? Somebody hit, they hit a couple threes there. They were like 4 for the first 8 on threes in the second half, built the lead to 9. And you could tell when the Pacers took their first time out in that second half, exactly how this was going to go without Hallie. And as it started to happen, and McConnell tried to keep us in it, and in the fourth, Mathurin got us back into it, and it just was never enough. And during that time, all I could start to think about was Manning only winning one. Reggie, this one was supposed to be for Reggie and Artest and O'Neal and for all the boys that didn't have the opportunity to win one. And it all gets taken away because the most important player on the team pops his Achilles 8 minutes into the game, comes out firing, bro. Hallie was about to have a leg. When you talk about legacy games, he was about to have a legacy game for the definition of a team of destiny. And like that, it's like a Thanos snap. And it was all taken away. And I'm just sitting here wondering, what did indie sports fans do to deserve the ride that we've been on for 30 years? Honestly, 30, 35 years. You look at what happens here. Peyton Manning, during that era, so many wins, the winningest decade in NFL history. And we come away with one Super Bowl, and then the neck injury happens, and we need to move on. We think we need to move on because it's time for Andrew Luck to come in, right? And with Andrew Luck and us having the 1 pick, everything just moved in a way where, okay, we need to move on from Peyton Manning with his injury. And he goes on, wins a Super Bowl with Denver, has a lot of success, has the best quarterback season of all time over there. We get Andrew Luck, and we have a lot of success with Andrew Luck, again, regular season, and even make it to AFC Championship game, but never able to get over the hump. And then he retires early because of his shoulder injury. So between Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck, two of the best quarterbacks to ever play, there are coaches that coached Andrew Luck that say he is the most talented and smartest quarterback, the combination of the two. right? There are people that say Peyton's the smartest. Before Andrew Luck, it was Peyton's the smartest, but Tom Brady is the most talented. Andrew Luck was better than both. That's what coaches say. So we had two of the top three quarterbacks all time, arguably. One Super Bowl to show for it. And as somebody, like, I love all sports. Like I was about to mention earlier, I really had stopped watching basketball when the Warriors and the Cavaliers went to championship 4 years in a row. I watched the first three, and then it was like, okay, I'm just going to keep. There's nobody else is competing with these two. Like, they're getting to the finals easily. It's gonna. Why am I watching? Right? There's just no point. Especially because I grew up a Pacers fan. Pacers, at that point, with the Paul George situation and everything that was happening, and so I just stopped watching basketball for a little while. This team brought me back in. The Halley team is what brought me back in. I kind of paid attention to what was happening, but never really watched religiously. Right, 82 games. I have things to do. Right, I have two jobs. I have things to do, and this team brought me back in. Right, so you look at Peyton Manning, one Super Bowl and all his time here and all his greatness. Andrew Luck, early retirement. Paul George, that era of basketball was electric. Going up against the Heatles, just never, even same thing at advantageous situations in the series and just unable to finish the job. And then, of course, Paul George gets the broken leg that kind of changes his career, derails his career, and then he gets out of Indy, right? And then they try to rebuild it and get Victor Oladipo, and it's supposed to be his era, and then he gets a leg injury. In that era, just never able to really get off the ground and sustain itself. And then we come to the modern day of the Colts and the Pacers, where in 2023, it seemed like everything changed. We draft Anthony Richardson, the prince that was promised, incredibly athletic quarterback. The Colts moving into a new era with new coaches, exciting. Shane Steichen coming from an offense that should be incredible to develop Anthony Richardson in. And Anthony Richardson just can't stay healthy. And then Tyrese Halliburton getting traded to the Pacers, right? Kevin Pritchard building that team so well, but Hallie being at the heart and soul of it. Obviously, the heart and soul of this team, when he doesn't play, the team is so different, right? It's so apparent. When he's not playing well, the team is so different. Even with as good as Siakam is, even with as good as Nembhard is, TJ McConnell, Obi Toppin, anybody else you can name, Hallie's the heart and soul. And he battled through, had a great game 6, and we blew the Thunder out at home. And it looked like early on Hallie was cooking, right? Smacking 3 threes early. Looked like he was being aggressive. He was going to drive to the hole on the play that he got hurt. He was about to blow by Shea. And he pops his Achilles. And it's like, dude, the way that game went, we were up by 1 at halftime. We could have been up 15 at halftime. We could have been up 25 after 3. We could have blown them out at home. Right? Well, in their home, Pacers on the road, blown them out in their house to win a Game 7 NBA championship. That's what it looked like was about to happen. And the way the whole game went, that's how it probably would have happened. With Hallie, we get almost always 110 plus. I'm really just, of course, I'm excited for Colts. I can't wait for the Colts, especially after that, like the feeling of heartbreak. But it's just after what happened last night, it's just everything's coming back, right? And this is everything we're talking about. Not even talking about the malice at the palace, like the opportunity, right? That was Reggie's opportunity to win a ring, which is why this one was so important. The opportunity for that team to win. got washed away, right? We always had to battle through the Pistons. We were better than them. We were going to win a ring that year. And then the Malice at the Palace happens. And now for the Pacers, it looked like we were going to be it looked like we were going to win game 7. It looked like we were going to be leading contenders next year, right? All the guys are coming back. And, you know, for the Pacers next season, I'm excited to see Mathurin. He's obviously in the second half. You saw he was out there at the start of the second half for the Pacers in game 7. I expect him to be a starter next year, right? So it's Mathurin season for the Pacers, and that's exciting. I'm excited to see that. But how's the offense going to operate without Hallie? Who's going to take over the role of pushing the pace the way it needs to be pushed and doing it the way Hallie can, right? That's what makes him a superstar. He's a one of one. And man, I was so ready because Indy, we have Caitlin Clark, right? So I thought Pacers going to win a championship. Fever, right now they got to figure some things out, but they should be competing for a championship in the long run. And I mean, how incredible would it have been if both basketball teams win a championship? And then you have the Colts, who would need to raise their level to be right there with the other sports teams in Indy. And man, could we compete for a championship? And now it's just like, man, I hope we can win some games for the Colts, right? It's crazy how quickly things can change. And that's just what I'm thinking about today. Didn't really, right? There are other things that we're gonna have videos on. I actually had something else planned for today, a different conversation planned for today, but this one, it's just at the forefront of my. I can't stop thinking about like what it could have been if that doesn't happen. Like I just there's almost no doubt in my mind that the Pacers hoist the Larry O'Brien Trophy, and Halliburton has a literal legacy game, 30-plus point type of game. It looked like he was about to go stoop last night. And when he's going stoop, so is everybody else. And it just seemed like after halftime, right, they go into the locker room, they probably see Tyrese, they have a chance to sit down, and they're all thinking about it, right? And they come back out, and they just never had the same energy. And, man, being an indie sports fan is not for the weak, man. So, again, that's just what I was thinking about. Let me know what you guys think, man. Through all your years of being an indie sports fan, man, just whatever you're thinking, right? Let the comment section be your therapy for today, and say what you need to say down in the comment section, man. I'm with you guys. It's and not everybody's as diehard about sports, and you know, but sports, sports is my life. This is what I do. So this one, man, I was ready to call us the city of champions. We're the city of heartbreak. And I just hope that at some point the sports gods begin to bless us. Let us get over the hump a few times. Indie sports fans deserve it, man. I don't know what we've done to deserve the heartbreak that we go through, but it's got to end at some point, right? We'll see. We'll see. I guess Detroit Lions fans and Detroit fans in general have a good gripe there as well, but who knows? A lot on the mind. You guys let me know what's on your mind. And of course, if you enjoyed the content, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe with notifications on so you continue to get notified anytime we drop any content on this channel. And of course, I appreciate you guys stopping by for another video. And as always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.